Hello children. Last time we have studied up to the alimentary canal. Now today let us go to the next one. Next slide, let me go. Well, here we have got the description about the small and the large intestine. Let us go to the description. So small intestine is distinguishable into three regions. That is, we can recognize three different parts in the small intestine. U-shaped duodenum, long coiled middle portion jejunum, and highly coiled ileum. So name three parts of small intestine means which all names you will write? Duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Among these three, ileum is the longest one and it has got a narrow lumen, and in the ileum you will see large number of villi. Next, the opening of the stomach into the duodenum is guarded by a pyloric sphincter. I already told you this one. Pyloric sphincter is present between the duodenum and the stomach. Fine. And it will prevent the backflow of the food from the duodenum into the stomach. And ileum opens into large intestine. It consists of a cecum, colon, and the rectum. What are all parts of this large intestine? Cecum, colon, and the rectum. Fine. Cecum is a small blind sac which hosts some symbiotic microorganisms. In the cecum, we will say symbiotic microorganisms. A narrow finger-like tubular projection, a vermiform appendix which is a vestigial organ, arises from the cecum. Just now I told you, in the previous class I told you, at the junction between the large and the small intestine, a vermiform appendix is present. Fine. Cecum opens into the colon. The colon is divided, or you can say continuous sentence, dividing into three parts depending upon the position. Fine. What are they? Ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending colon. Fine. So these are the three parts of the colon, and one more is added, that is the sigmoid colon. The descending part opens into the rectum. The descending part opens into the rectum, which opens out through the anus. So the rectum opens out through the anus. Fine. So in the small intestine, the digestion is completed and the absorption process is also completed. And in the large intestine, the remaining water and drugs are absorbed, and undigested waste material will get collected in the rectum temporarily, then it is sent out of the body. So that is called egestion, or which is also called defecation. So this is about the description of small and the large intestine. Now let us go to the next slide. The wall of the alimentary canal from esophagus to the rectum possesses four layers, namely serosa, muscularis, submucosa, and the mucosa. Alimentary canal, I told you, right from the mouth to the anus. The part from the esophagus into the rectum, up to the rectum. ಈಸೋಫೇಗಸ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ರೆಕ್ಟಮ್ ತನಕ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಅಡ್ಡ ಸಿಡಿಕೆಯ ನೋಟ. ಫೈನ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಯುಲ್ ಸಿ 4 ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್, 4 ಲೇಯರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವು. ಸಿರೋಸಾ, ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್, ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ. It is a 3-mark question which is asked in annual exam. Serosa is the outermost layer and is made up of thin mesothelium. Serosa idu muscularis layer, last layer it is. Fine. Or you can say epithelium of the visceral organ. Visceral organ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ವಿಸರಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಲ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ವಿಸರಲ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್. ವಿಸರ it is the internal organs, you can say. Body cavity definition already you have studied in animal kingdom. Animal kingdom nag body cavity definition odiri. What is body cavity? It is the cavity present between body wall and alimentary canal, fine, with some connective tissue, that is serosa. Now muscularis is formed by smooth muscles usually arranged into an inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. ಇದು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟೆಡ್ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಸಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ರೀಜನ್ಸ್. So muscularis second layer, fine, and in the muscularis you will see the longitudinal and the circular muscles, and oblique muscles in some parts you will see, especially in the abdomen. Oblique muscular layers are found which will help in churning movement of the muscle stomach. The submucosal layer is formed of loose connective tissue containing nerves, blood and the lymph vessel. ಸಬ್ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅದ್ರಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್, ನರ್ವ್ಸ್, ಲಿಂಫ್ ವೆಸಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಡಿಯೋಡಿನಮ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ. ಡಿಯೋಡಿನಮ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಸಬ್ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾನ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸು ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನಲ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನರ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಲೇಯರ್ ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲುಮೆನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಕೆನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ. ಫುಲ್ ಒಳಗಿನ ಲೇಯರ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. And this layer forms irregular folds in different regions, like in the stomach it is called rugae, and in the small intestine they are called villi. This is about the description of TS of alimentary canal, or you can say transverse section of alimentary canal. So that with the diagram it would have been very nice, but diagram is given afterwards. Let us see the diagram now. See, it is the transverse section of alimentary canal. Description just now you have studied. The outermost layer it is called the serosa. ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರ ಸಿರೋಸಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಿರೋಸಾ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಓದಿರಿ ನೀವು? ಸಿರೋಸಾ, it is the outermost layer of the alimentary canal which is made up of thin mesothelium. Mesothelium ಅಂದರೆ epithelium of visceral organ. Fine. What is mesothelium? Epithelium of visceral organ. ಅದು ಆಯಿತು ಸಿರೋಸಾ. ಎರಡನೇ ಲೇಯರ್ ಏನಂತೋದಿರಿ? ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್. ಎರಡನೇ ಲೇಯರ್ ಏನದ? ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್. ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್ನಾಗ ಎರಡು ಥರದ ಲೇಯರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರಿ ನೀವು. ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿರಿ. ಇದು ಹೊರಗಿಂದ ಏನದ? ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಔಟರ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಲಾಂಗಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ನಲ್ ಮಸಲ್ಸ್. ಔಟರ್ ಒನ್ ಲಾಂಗಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ನಲ್ ಉದ್ದುದ್ದಿರ್ತಾವ, ಅಡ್ಡ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸಿಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗುಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾವೆ. See, the longitudinal muscles, they are long elongated structures, fine. When you cut transversely you will see small circular structures, what you are seeing here. So outer side you will see longitudinal muscles and inner side you will see circular muscles. Circular muscles are like this. When you cut transversely you will see the like this. Hope you are imagining the structure what I am saying. So muscularis is having two types of muscle layers, outer longitudinal, inner circular. Circular muscles or muscularis layer you can say. So these two muscles together help for peristaltic movement. They will help in the peristalsis. What is peristalsis? It is rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the alimentary canal which will help in pushing food in one direction. So usually food will move from mouth to the interior, that is towards the alimentary canal. Next part is the submucosa. Submucosal layer. In this submucosal layer you will see the glands like crypts of lubricant, Brunner's glands, lamina propria. So these are all glands which are found in different parts of the alimentary canal. This is about the submucosa, and in the submucosa you will see the supply of nerves, blood vessels, etc., lymph vessels, fine. And the innermost layer of the alimentary canal is called mucosa. This mucosa is having different foldings depending upon the region. Like in the stomach, you will see rugae, gastric rugae, the foldings. So when the belly is full, when the stomach is full, this rugae will not appear. They will stretch. They will disappear, right? And in the small intestine, you can see a small projections of this mucosal layer, which is called villi. The villi main function is to increase the surface area, fine, and the inner empty space is called the lumen. So this diagram you have to practice actually, fine. So this is about the transverse section of alimentary canal. Hope I am clear. Transverse section of alimentary canal. What is the outermost layer? Serosa. Usually it is having 4 layers. From the outer, if you come towards the inner side, outermost layer serosa. Horagiನ layer ಗೆ ನಂತರ serosa. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ meso, it is made up of epithelial layer of viscera ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ mesothelium ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ? ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್. ಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರಿಸ್ನಾಗ 2 ಥರದ್ದು ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ, ಲಾಂಗಿಟ್ಯೂಡಿನಲ್, ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲಾರ್. ಇದು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ? ಪೆರಿಸ್ಟಾಲ್ಸಿಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಣೋದು ಸಬ್ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ. ಸಬ್ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾನಾಗ ಎದ್ರಿದ್ರೆ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಇರ್ತದೆ? ನರ್ವ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ, ಲಿಂಫ್ ವೆಸಲ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು? ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ. ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಗದಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಫೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು. ಹ್ಯಾಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್ ಒಳಗೆ ರೂಗೆ ಅಂತ, ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ನಾಗ ವಿಲ್ಲಾಯ್ ಅಂತ. ಈ ನಡುವಿನ ಖಾಲಿ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಲ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋಪ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. Now let me go to the next slide. Next slide. Let me read out the sentences what are given here. The cells lining the villi produces numerous microscopic projections called microvilli, giving a brush bordered appearance. ಬ್ರಷ್ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ವಿಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಯು ಶೇಪ್ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಯು ಶೇಪ್ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಣ್ಣ 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 ವಿಲ್ಲ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರೆ? ಮೈಕ್ರೋವಿಲ್ಲಾಯ್. ಫೈನ್. ವಿಲ್ಲಾಯ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಲ್ ಲೇಯರ್. Fine. And on this mucosal layer you will see a small projections, and those are called the microvilli. Actually I am unable to draw on the PPT. Fine. Imagine the structure. So these modifications increases the surface area enormously. ಏನು ಫೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ, ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸೀರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರ್ತದೆ, 5 ಮೀಟ್ರ್ 5.5 ಮೀಟ್ರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಅದನ್ನು ಮಡಿಸಿಟ್ಟಾಗ ಸಣ್ಣದೊಂದು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಸಣ್ಣದು ಮಡಿಕೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದು? ಹಂಗೆ ಈ ಫೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಅವು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೆ. ದ ಮೇನ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ಈ ಫೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ಲಕ್ಕ, to increase the surface area for whatever function they are assigned. Like in the small intestine, it is assigned for the absorption and the digestion. Fine. Now, villi are supplied with network of capillaries and large lymph vessels called lacteal. This diagram munde bartade. This diagram will be having in coming pages. So villi, they have got the supply of network of capillaries, you will see, and also the lymph vessel which is called lacteal. Okay, and so, you know that blood supply is required everywhere where the cells must be healthy and functional. And this lacteal, it will help in the absorption of the fat, cancer lipids. Mucosal epithelium has goblet cells which secrete mucus that help in lubrication. ಈ mucosal layer naga mucus epithelium is present. What is mucus epithelium? Cells which contain mucus secreting cells. Fine. So it will secrete mucus which will help in the lubrication of the lumen, lubrication of the alimentary pathway. So mucosa also forms glands in the stomach which are called gastric glands, and crypts in between the bases of the villi in the intestine which are called crypts of Lieberkühn. And all the 4 layers show modifications in different parts of the alimentary canal. Just now I told you mucosa, ಆ ಒಳಗಿನ ಲೇಯರ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಕೆನಾಲ್ದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಲುಬರ್ಕನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸಾ, ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮೀ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ಹೋಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ಯದಂತ ಮಕ್ಕಳ್ರ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದ್ನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೋಡ್ದಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಪೀರಿಯಡ್ಸ್. ಫೈನ್. And if this lockdown will open early, we can again repeat in short in the classroom. Now let me go to the next slide. Okay, digestive glands. ಈಗ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟರಿ ಕೆನಾಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಯಿತಾ. ಕೆಲಸನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಅಷ್ಟುದು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಡೈಜೆಷನ್ ಆದಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಓದಿದ್ವಿ, ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನ್ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ, ರೆಕ್ಟಮ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್. ಫೈನ್. Now let me go to the digestive glands. Digestive glands are the glands which are present along with the alimentary canal, and their main function is helping in the digestion. The digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal include salivary gland, liver and the pancreas. Yav gland main adavu? Salivary gland, liver, pancreas. Apart from this, gastric glands and intestinal glands are also there. Fine children. Salivary glands, liver, pancreas, gastric glands and intestinal glands. These two are missing here, but keep in mind. Saliva is mainly produced by 3 pairs of salivary glands. I told you how many pairs of salivary glands are there. 3 pairs. Parotid, submaxillary and sublingual. Parotid, which is present in the cheek region. Submaxillary is also called submandibular, which is present below the lower jaw, and sublingual present below the tongue. That is why it is called lingual. These glands situated just outside the buccal cavity. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತವೆ? ಬಕ್ಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಹೊರಗಿರ್ತಾವೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಸೆಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ salivary juice into the buccal cavity. They secrete salivary juice into the buccal cavity. Liver, it is the largest gland of the body. It is the largest gland of the body which will weigh nearly 1.2 to 1.5 kg in an adult human. Adult ಒಳಗೆ ನಿಯರ್ಲಿ 1.5 kg ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರ್ತದೆ ಅದು. It is situated in the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm and has 2 lobes. It is present below the diaphragm. Diaphragm ಒಪ್ಪೆ ಕೆಳಗಿರ್ತದೆ. It is made up of 2 lobes. Fine. The hepatic lobules are the structural and functional units of the liver. Liver ಎದರಿಂದಾಗಿತ್ತದ? Hepatic lobule. Fine. What are the structural and functional units of liver ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? Hepatic lobule. Hepatic ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ? ಈ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು? ಲಿವರ್ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಸಿ hepatic term wherever you will listen. So this term is related to the liver, whatever it is. Fine. So what are the structural and functional units of liver? They are the hepatic lobules. They are hepatic lobules. Fine. And these hepatic lobules, they contain the hepatic cells. Hepatic lobule contain the hepatic cells, and these hepatic cells, they are arranged in the form of cord. Cord andre tantiyenga. They are arranged in the form of cord, and each hepatic lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath which is called Glissen's capsule. Glissen's capsule, it is the connective tissue layer found around the hepatic lobule. CET, or you can say MCQ question. What is Glissen's capsule? Protective cover of the hepatic lobule, you can say. What is hepatic lobule? It is the structural and functional unit of the liver. Fine. That is about the Glissen's capsule. Hope I am clear. ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ದಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಥರದ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಲಿವರ್, ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್, ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್, ಇಂಟೆಸ್ಟೈನಲ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬರೀ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೇರ್ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅದಾವ ಅಂತ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಅದಾವ? ಪೆರೋಟಿಡ್, ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ ಮತ್ತು ಸಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ವಲ್. ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಬ್ಯುಲಾರ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲ್ಲಾ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಬಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲ್ಲಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಂದು ಜಾ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಬಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗಿನ ಜಾ. ಇದೇನದ ಇವೆರಡರ ಕೆಳಗಿರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲರಿನೂ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡಿಬ್ಯುಲಾರ್ನು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ವಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾಲ್ಗೆ ಕೆಳಗಿದ್ದಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಸಲೈವರಿ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟದಾವ? 3 ಜೊತೆ, 3 ಪೇರ್ಸ್: ಪೆರೋಟಿಡ್, ಸಬ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಲರಿ, ಸಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ವಲ್. ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು? ಸಲೈವ ಸಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ವಿ ಲಿವರ್. ಲಿವರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ. ಲಿವರ್ ಎದರಿಂದಾಗಿದ್ದದ? ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೊಬ್ಯೂಲ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೊಬ್ಯೂಲ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಲಿವರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸರಿನಾ? ಈ ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೊಬ್ಯೂಲ್ದು ಕವರ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರೆ? ಗ್ಲಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಸುಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಫೈನ್, MCQ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಲೊಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ಎದರಿಂದಾಗಿದ್ದದ? ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಂದ. ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ಆರ್ ದೇ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಡ್? ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್, ಅಂದರೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಉದ್ದುದ್ದು ಗುಂಡು ಉದ್ದುದ್ದು ತಂತಿ ರೂಪದಾಗ ಅರೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದದ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರೆ? ಹಿಪ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹೋಪ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ನಾವು ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. The bile is secreted by the hepatic cells, passes through the hepatic duct and is stored and concentrated in a thin muscular sac called gallbladder. The duct of the gallbladder is called cystic duct, along with the hepatic duct forms a common bile duct. In the description ada. Liver cells, what do they secrete? They will secrete a juice called bile. Fine, bile. And this bile, where it is stored? It is the bile juice which is produced and secreted by the hepatic cell. They will travel through the hepatic duct and they are stored in a small bladder like structure which is called gallbladder. Fine, it is present at the basal part of the liver, and this gallbladder will store and concentrate the bile juice. The duct which will come out from this gallbladder is called cystic duct. ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರೆ? cystic duct ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. This cystic duct joins with the hepatic duct. ಸೊ ಕಾಮನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದೇನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇದಕ್ಕೇನಂತಾರೆ? ಬೈಲ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಬೈಲ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್. ಈ ಬೈಲ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೋ? ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಡಕ್ಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ hepatic duct, gallbladder, cystic duct, bile duct, pancreas. They are opening into the duodenum. This is U-shaped duodenum. Fine. And this will open here in the duodenum by a common duct which is called hepatopancreatic duct. So here in this diagram we are unable to see the hepatopancreatic duct. And this hepatopancreatic duct which opens in the duodenum is guarded by a sphincter muscle which is called sphincter of Oddi. It is called sphincter of Oddi. Hope I am clear. Now let me move to the next slide. Now here a sub description is given about the liver. See, the bile duct and the pancreatic duct, they open together into the duodenum. Just now I told you, and that common duct, bile duct and the pancreatic duct together, which they form, that is called hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the duodenum, and it is guarded by a sphincter which is called sphincter of Oddi. You have to remember how many sphincter muscles we have got in our alimentary canal. The pancreas, it is a compound gland which already you have studied in structural organization in animals. Pancreas, it is a compound gland, or you can say mixed or dual gland. Why it is called compound gland? Because it has got both the glandular structure, that is exocrine as well as endocrine part. It is the second largest gland. It is elongated organ situated between the limbs of the duodenum. ಡಿಯೋಡಿನಮ್ದು ಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕಂತಾರೆ, ಕಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಡ್ವೆಲ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಎರಡೂ ಗ್ರಂಥಿಗಳಿರ್ತಾವೆ, ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್, ಎಂಡೋಕ್ರೈನ್. The exocrine portion secretes an alkaline pancreatic juice containing enzymes, and endocrine portion secretes hormones, insulin and glucagon. Exocrine part of the pancreas is also called as pancreatic acini. Exocrine part ಗೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ, pancreas pancreatic acini ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. More than 90% of the pancreas is having the exocrine portion which will secrete pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice contains many enzymes which will help in the digestion of the food, which we will deal in coming pages. The endocrine portion of the pancreas is called islets of Langerhans. So islets of Langerhans is having mainly three types of cell: alpha, beta and gamma. So beta cells and alpha cells mainly they secrete the insulin and glucagon, which will help in maintaining the glucose balance in the body, which is very important. If something goes wrong with the glucose balance, the person will suffer with diabetes mellitus. In our body nearly 100 to 120 mg per 100 ml of blood must be there. If more than that, if it is there, then the person is considered as diabetic. Fine. Now let me go to the next slide. Hope I'm clear. ಏನೇನು ಹೇಳ್ದ, ಲಿವರ್ ಬೈಲ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಬೈಲ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಗಾಲ್ ಬ್ಲಾಡರ್ನಾಗ ಟೆಂಪರರಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಡಿಯೋಡಿನಮ್. ಫೈನ್. ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ನಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಎಂಡೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಎರಡು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾವೆ. ಎಕ್ಸೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಿಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಎಂಡೋಕ್ರೈನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಸುಲಿನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಗಾನ್ ಸೆಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗಾರೆ. Now digestion of the food. So we did not study here the digestive glands of stomach and the intestine. Let it be. I will add next time those slides. Okay. Now here directly we will begin with the digestion of food. So in the digestion of food, what is the definition of the digestion? Already you have studied. That is the breaking of the complex food materials into a simple and absorbable form, like that you have studied. Fine. First today let me just finish up to the digestion in the buccal cavity. Okay. So the process of digestion is accomplished by mechanical and chemical process. Digestion, here in the digestion the food is broken down mechanically and also it is broken down chemically. Both the aspects are involved in the digestion. The buccal cavity perform two major functions: mastication of the food and facilitation of swallowing. The teeth and the tongue, with the help of the saliva, masticate and mix a food thoroughly. Buccal cavity, it does mainly two functions: mastication and swallowing. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದ, mastication ಅಂದರೆ ಊಟನ ಅಗಿಯೋದು. What is mastication? It is grinding of the food with the help of the teeth, and swallowing, engulfing the food, that is passing the food into the next part of the alimentary canal. Mastication and swallowing, they are the voluntary activities. It is under your control. If you want to chew the food, you can chew the food. If you want to swallow the food, you can. Isn't it? So it is a voluntary process. Once you chew, swallow the food, next you can't regulate your food movement. Can you? You never. Fine. The teeth and the tongue, they help in grinding the food with the help of saliva. Imagine without saliva our food would have not bounded together to form the bolus. It would have spread like sand particles. Then how would you digest the food? is it possible to grind the food in the buccal cavity? It would have become very difficult. Mucus in saliva help in lubricating and adhering the masticated food particles into the bolus. The mucus of the saliva will help in the lubrication, and this mucus will help in keeping the food particles together, and it will form bolus. See, bolus is a semi-digested food of the buccal cavity. What is bolus? It is the semi-digested food of the buccal cavity. The bolus is then conveyed into the pharynx and then into the esophagus by swallowing or deglutition. Bolus, which is there in the buccal cavity, is passed on to the next part of the alimentary canal, that is pharynx. How it is passed? Through the swallowing. Fine. So next, see, the bolus further passes down through the esophagus by successive waves of muscular contractions called peristalsis. You already have heard the term peristalsis. What is peristalsis? It is rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the alimentary canal. So the peristaltic movement will help in pushing the food in forward directions. Fine. Well, next let me go to read the next sentence. The gastroesophageal sphincter controls the passage of the food into the stomach, and the saliva secreted into the oral cavity. So here we are missing some parts. Fine. So let me just shorten this slide. Okay, now it is clear. See, the gastroesophageal sphincter. Gastroesophageal sphincter, a sphincter which is present between the esophagus and the stomach. It will control the passage of food into the stomach. Fine. And the saliva secreted into the oral cavity, mainly it contains electrolytes like sodium, potassium, chlorine, bicarbonates, and enzymes like salivary amylase and lysozyme. So the components of the saliva. What are the components of the saliva? Electrolytes, enzymes like salivary amylase and lysozyme. Salivary amylase will help in the digestion of the carbohydrate. Lysozyme, MCQ question and one mark question you can say. This lysozyme will help in killing the bacteria by breaking the walls of the bacteria. Fine. By breaking the walls of the bacteria. So that important function is done by lysozyme. Fine. So what you have studied? In the buccal cavity, saliva is secreted, and saliva contains electrolyte, enzyme, salivary amylase, lysozyme, and the mucus. In the buccal cavity, food is masticated, that is grinded with the help of the teeth, and it is made into one. That is, bolus is formed. The sticky mucus will help in binding the food particles to form the bolus, and this bolus, when we swallow, it will enter into the pharynx, then it will move to the esophagus. How this movement is achieved? With the help of peristalsis. Fine. And then it enters into the stomach, and here the entry of food into the stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscle which is called gastroesophageal sphincter. Now let me go to the next slide. See, the chemical process of digestion is initiated in the oral cavity itself. Mechanical digestion is also initiated in the buccal cavity itself through the mastication. A physical process ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಆಯಿತು? ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್? ನೀವು ಹಲ್ಲೆ ನಡುವೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಊಟ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಶುರು ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. Hydrolytic action of the carbohydrate splitting enzyme, the salivary amylase, ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಯಿತಾ. ಆದಾಗ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತದೆ? ಅದನ್ನು ಬಕ್ಕಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿನಾಗ ಶುರು ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ನಾಗ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಏನು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನಾಗ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? The enzyme ಯಾವ ಎಂಜೈಮ್? ಸಲೈವರಿ ಅಮೈಲೇಸ್ ಎಂಜೈಮ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ ಸಲೈವನಾಗ, ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಬೋಹೈಡ್ರೇಟನ್ನು ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ. Salivary amylase, it is a carbohydrate digesting enzyme. You know, all the enzymes and digestive enzymes, they function through hydrolytic action. With the addition of the water molecule, they will break the food particles. So carbohydrate digesting enzyme salivary amylase act on the carbohydrate and it will digest the starch into disaccharide. That is, usually the carbohydrates are in the form of polysaccharides, and among them the starch is the main food component which is present in our food, and the polysaccharides will get broken down into disaccharides, especially maltose. Here 30% of the carbohydrates will get hydrolyzed in the buccal cavity. You know, the pH of the buccal cavity is 6.8. That is slightly acidic in nature. And lysozyme, it is present in the saliva, which act as antibacterial agent, and it will prevent mainly infection by killing the bacteria. Fine, it will kill bacteria. How does it kill? It will kill bacteria by breaking the bacterial cell wall. So this reaction you have to remember. Starch will get converted into maltose in the buccal cavity under the influence or by the action of salivary amylase. What is the pH of saliva? It is 6.8. You have to remember. The mucosa of stomach has gastric glands. So here we have taken the mucosa of the gastric gland. It contains mainly 3 types of cells. It mainly contains 3 types of cells: mucous neck cells which secrete mucus, peptic or chief cells which secrete proenzyme, and parietal or auxontic cells which secrete HCl and intrinsic factor. So mucous neck cells which will secrete the mucus, these are also called as goblet cells. Fine. And peptic or chief cells, they secrete proenzyme pepsinogen. Pro, that is the pre-form of an enzyme. Proenzymes are always in inactive state. Fine. And pepsinogen, it is a inactive protein digesting enzyme. Parietal or auxontic cells, they secrete HCl and intrinsic factor. Pepsinogen, it is an inactive form of a enzyme. Fine. So intrinsic factor, it is the factor which is essential for the absorption of B12, that is vitamin B12. So today let us just complete up to here. So what all things we have studied today? You have studied about the structure of alimentary canal, which is made up of 4 layers, that is serosa, muscularis, submucosa, mucosa. Serosa, outermost layer, which is made up of mesothelium. Muscularis is made up of longitudinal and circular muscles which will help in peristalsis. Submucosa is the 3rd layer which has got the blood supply, nerve supply and the lymph vessel supply. Mucosa, it is the innermost layer which is modified in different form in different parts of the body, in different parts of the alimentary canal like rugae and villi. And you have studied about the gland, liver and the pancreas. Liver, you have studied in digestive system, you have seen which will secrete the bile, is temporarily stored in the gallbladder, which will enter into the duodenum through the hepatopancreatic duct, and pancreas will secrete digestive enzymes, insulin and glucagon, that I told. And just we were discussing about the digestion of the food in the buccal cavity. In the buccal cavity, only carbohydrates will get digested. Only carbohydrates will get digested because of the presence of salivary amylase, and its pH is 6.8. starch will get converted into maltose, a disaccharide. Fine. And we were discussing about the gastric glands, the glands which are present in the stomach, and they will open into the stomach through a pit, narrow pit. Fine. Now in next class we will just discuss